last few years, we've kind of reached market saturation when it comes to gins. There's a lot of gin. There's so many gins. Every town, borough, city, hamlet, and cottage pretty much has its own location gin. There's Edinburgh gin, there's York gin, there's Stockport gin, there's Manchester gin, there's Dundee gin. The list goes on and on. And then there's all the stuff in the middle, the flavoured stuff, the old toms. It's never ending, and it can be difficult to pick what you go with next. Well, there is a gin that has decided to sort of take itself as the pillar of the London Dry, which is difficult given that we've got such stalwarts such as Tanqueray and Beefeater that have held on to that mantle for a very long time. But these guys seem to think that they've pretty much nailed it, and the people that have been trying it are inclined to agree. So today we're looking at this. This is Linden Lime Gin, which is kind of tricky to say in a one. Lind and lime. There is lime in this, you'll be unsurprised to hear. And it's by the Port of Leith distillery, which are going to be producing whiskey in the near future. So far, they're knocking out gin and sherry and port. Strange repertoire these guys have at the minute, but you know what? I'm here for it. This came onto the scene about 3 years ago or so now, and it's a fucking gorgeous bottle. It's the first thing you'll immediately notice. This gorgeous corrugated green glass that you've got here. Very simple label, quite old school, slightly brutalist in its own little way, sort of 30s, 40s kind of a simple advertising design. It's 44% alcohol by volume. And it's not filtered. Why does that matter in a gin? Well, it does, for reasons that we will be getting into shortly, and it should be a very visible change that we have. It's made in Edinburgh. It's another Edinburgh-based gin. And the guys go on about the botanicals that they put in this. There's juniper, of course, pink peppercorns, lime. The botanical bill is not too crazy. The idea behind this was for them to just make something that kind of knocks it out of the park, and I've heard very good things about this so far. So I'm looking forward to actually getting into this. This is a miniature, obviously. I'm not just a giant. Because of the number of things that I review on this channel, and if you aren't subscribed already, then there's a red button kicking around somewhere where you can do that. If you want to watch a man with questionable hairstyling abilities reviewing booze on the internet, then, I mean, I'm here for you. And if you find that as you're watching this, you're enjoying the content that I'm producing, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, because it does something. I think I get like a cake or something if it reaches 100, so I'm okay with that. I like cake. So, Linden Lime. Let's get this in a glass. There we go. I'm going to put the bottle down now. Sorry. It's clear in the glass. That's not going to last. Huge punch of pink pepper. Pink pepper and juniper are the dominant aromatics in this gin. The pink pepper is really taking centre stage, actually. It's slightly... it's one of those things that I think a lot of people kind of like overlook with this gin, because as I've been looking, like, you know, sort of reading up on it and like getting people's reactions to it, the pepper isn't something that people necessarily talk too much about. I knew it was in the botanical bill, and it is very dominant as the key aroma. The juniper's in there as well. It's giving kind of like a piney freshness, but it's this beautiful, rich, warm spiciness up front. Yeah, if you're a big fan of pink pepper, this is probably going to be one for you. But, okay, let's try it neat. Weird, I know, but we need a baseline. Disarmingly gentle. So spicy, though. Again, the pepper is just almost dominating. And there's kind of like a milky creaminess to it as well. It's rich, it's got a thick coating mouthfeel to it. Lovely, warming, spicy notes from the pepper. Juniper comes in a little bit, giving a little bit of kind of like a blue bitterness. Citrus is a component that I'm struggling to find, however. So far, the lime hasn't presented itself, which, given it's in the name, you'd expect it to be more upfront. But it could be, because it's in such concentrated form, that it's not yet able to reveal itself, because it's a more delicate botanical. So we should remedy that with the addition of some tonic. If you watched my revisit of Hendrick's Midsummer Solstice, I've talked about cushy dews already. You can tell that I'm filming this back to back because I look the same. So I'm going to hold this. Hopefully you can see that. Now, I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera too much, but the gin ever so slightly lushes. Turns a little bit milky, turns a little bit cloudy. That's because it's not filtered, the gin. So the oils naturally separate out from the rest of it, and it ends up with this slightly milky appearance. Cotswolds is another one that does it, much more dramatically than this one, but is another one that does it. And absinthes are another example of lushing in alcoholic drinks. So I'm actually going to stick a little bit more tonic in it, because I think it might need it. It's a little bit stronger. The pepper's still dominant. The pepper is still... I'm actively searching for the lime now, and I'm not finding it. But the bottle's pretty, so that's something. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Cool. It's more pepper. To be fair, I love pink pepper. In anything, really. I've done pink pepper infusions in the past. It's actually the first video I did on this channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to link to that or not, because it's a first video, you know, and it's crap. But I'll go on then. Why not? Yeah, it's just kind of like more of the pepper that I'm getting through, and a little bit of juniper. The lime, not really. There's a little bit of like dry spice in there as well, but yeah, predominantly pepper. It's taken over. But we should see what it actually tastes like with tonic. The pepper is still absolutely there. At this point, you can't get rid of the pink pepper, I don't think. It's really more of a key player than they would have you believe. However, there's this really bitter, pithy citrus note, which I'm forced to conclude is the lime at this point, because otherwise it's not there. Pepper is still plentiful. There's a slightly woody note to it as well. There's a very dry bitterness to it. It's a lovely flavour. It's an absolutely delightful flavour. There's this lovely kind of like buttery smooth richness to it. I don't know how else to describe it other than it tastes creamy, and it's very coating on the mouth. The lime is coming through now, but it's almost like as an afterthought. It's very subtle, and frankly, you need to go looking for it. It's sort of like if you've had too many of the green Tic Tacs, you know? It's that slightly puckering sort of bitter lime kind of flavour. Luckily, the juniper and the pink pepper are absolutely carrying this gin. I think they should be making more noise about the pink pepper, because it is the star player in this gin, frankly. It's a pink peppercorn gin. More than anything else I would have said. I would have said the lime is almost a back note. It's complementary. I'm really not getting much in the way of citrus at all. And don't get me wrong, it's a lovely, lovely bottle, and also a lovely gin. What they're saying comes forward isn't quite right, for me personally. Maybe I'm more sensitive to pink pepper than other things. I don't know. Or spice in general. But those are my thoughts on that one. It's a delightful gin. I'd absolutely pick it up. The gorgeous bottle obviously helps as well. But it's actually a really cracking gin as well. It's really concentrated. It's got loads of spice in it. It just packs a punch with the flavour. It really does. And there's this strangely soothing mouthfeel of it as well. But yeah, if you're looking for a citrusy one, I don't think this is it. I don't think this is your gal, unfortunately. But a delightful gin nonetheless. That was Linden Lime. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also thumb this video. And do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.